Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and that was a little bit of nostalgia for those of you that played the Nintendo 64. That was a Diddy Kong Racing guitar medley by a wonderful gentleman by the name, or at least by the YouTube name, of Family Jewels 7X.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And with that being said, my friends, welcome to the last part of the Weekly Trending Family Show, been broadcast here on CKMS Sound FM. And we just wrapped up with a fantastic comic book segment, and we're going to talk about TV stuff for our final segment of the day.
TV stuff segment.
You got it. And again, my name is Reset, but basically, again, we're being broadcast here live at CKMS Sound FM, 1.3 FM dial. Plus, on top of the catch our crazy shenanigans at our Facebook page, which is www.WTFshow.com/Facebook. Plus, on top of that, we have the website as well, which happens to be www.WTFshow.com. Plus, on top of that, you can see us live through your favorite media device at www.WTFshow.com/live to see all of our crazy shenanigans here at the station. And once again, we say we're the bestest radio show in the one other region that you have to see online. So, there we go. So that being said, let's kick stuff up here. The very first thing I'd like to talk about is there's this TV show called Rex and Parks that seems to be playing on NBC.
Rex and Parks?
That's
okay.
right. See, this at all, I haven't heard of the show until our good friend Stan Man decided to post it up on the Weekly Trending Fandom page.
Cool.
But however, they seem to be moving into a fourth season, which is like, really?
Fourth season?
And supposedly on top of that, Michael J. Fox seems to be involved with it in some sort of aspect, so it should be interesting how that's working overall. Plus, on top of that, Sundays are no longer dead, so that basically walks in the whole Walking Dead aspect of things. And they just released a new trailer that came out a while ago. Very exciting stuff, so I'm really looking forward towards this season of The Walking Dead because the foundation has disintegrated. Everyone's on their own now, so all bets are off. Who's going to live and who's going to die? So it should be interesting in how this season The Walking Dead separates and comes back together. That will be the interesting part for yours truly. So those are my two real TV points. And also on top of it, don't forget the show's on tonight on NBC at 8 o'clock-ish. But however, check your local television stations. And also look in the TV guide, the hard copy versus the virtual copy, just because it's cool that way.
Yeah.
And let's move with some cartoon stuff.
Cartoon stuff. I haven't heard from cartoons in a while.
You ever, maybe when you were a younger 2.0, and maybe like a 5.1 versus a 2.0, ever heard of a TV show called Powerpuff Girls?
Powerpuff Girls. Yes, I do remember watching that show quite a bit, actually.
Fondly, I'm assuming? Fondly watching it, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the thing is that they just finished coming back with a comeback that aired yesterday.
A comeback series?
Yeah, so
okay,
it should be interesting. As far as I can tell, the artwork is a bit different, but however, is the Powerpuff Girls once again being displayed for all the world to see. And at the same time here, we'll put a link on the Weekly Trending Fandom show page and see how people like it. Pretty cool. I haven't seen it myself, but from what I've seen online, not too bad. Plus, on top of that, we happen to have a little clip of it on the Weekly Trending Fandom page. I mean, not the page, sorry, the actual website.
Yeah.
And we have an article written up about that, so if people want to check it out, they can. I'll put that link once again on our social networking, so people can actually check it out for themselves and see how they like it. Yeah. And then on top of that, Stan Man has written a fantastic review about The Simpsons 16th season. So he wrote a really good article about that. I'm just basically putting it out there so we'll actually read that. Again, give us your thoughts on it. Let us know what you think. Again, The Simpsons 16 seasons. Goodness gracious.
16.
Crazy. Because when that show goes off the air, my gosh, everyone's just going to just lose it. I think we're going to have so many people visiting therapists to get over their Simpsons hump. It's going to be astronomical. But however, we'll see how that works out. So on your end of things, do you have any for cartoon stuff at all?
Cartoon stuff? Not really. I mean, we've got our second episode of Archer that occurred last night.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I'm not entirely a fan of what they've become.
All right.
But
What?
With the lovely discussions with Cyril,
I
think they're going to become secret agents at some point.
Again?
I think so.
Yeah, because I saw the first season of Archer, The White Elephant, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I was watching going, yeah, Archer's back. Cheers!
Yep. Oh, yeah. It was, Archer's back. The rest of the most recent episode, I'm just, okay, I gotcha. I see where this is going.
Yep.
No. Yeah. This episode was kind of a for me. First one, yes.
Yeah, this one, now the funny thing, speaking about stuff going on, WWE for the last 3 broadcasts in 2014 have been absolutely friggin' fantastic. The first one 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I can't quite remember, it was basically old school Raw when they brought back some of the actual, they call them legends, 80 wrestlers to the forefront, and hell froze over because Jake the Snake Roberts was in the squared circle at WWE, and I gotta tell you, I completely marked out when I saw that. It was just absolutely friggin' phenomenal to see this particular individual back in the WWE, and especially with the long road he's actually traveled with his own particular shortcomings dealing with alcohol and also drug addiction and everything else like that. Just really, really hard. So seeing Jake the Snake Roberts actually getting over that and basically moving forward, perfect. And on top of that, he basically hooked up the Diamond Dallas Page challenge, and because of that, it seems he's straightened his life up all around. He seems to be back on the mend, which is absolutely fantastic because this guy was just as big as Hulk Hogan, and they couldn't put these two together because they knew their crowd would be conflicted. So seeing Jake back in the square circle was awesome. That was 2 weeks ago. So basically last week was Daniel Bryan's doing an actual flip change from being a babyface to a heel and a heel to babyface again. And there's a reason for that. What was going on is WWE was sort of punishing Daniel Bryan because he was too successful in his yes chants and stuff like that. As example, when they're actually talking about unifying the 2 biggest belts in all of wrestling, the fans were just going yes, 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 constantly, completely unscripted, not being coerced. They were just doing that because of the pure presence of Daniel Bryan. Now, from that, they had to squash that and basically try to do what they can to basically make Daniel Bryan part of the Wyatt family. But, however, an interesting situation popped up. On a live taping of a major football event, probably NHL, I believe, the crowd was going crazy with yes chants. So what seeded from the WWE went to prime time. And because of that, the higher-ups of the WWE could not let that slide. So what happened was that this should have been a WrestleMania moment, but they crystallized it for the second show. And the thing is that never since Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin have I ever seen the crowd lose their collective shit. It was crazy. And the thing is that Daniel Bryan was treating him like an orchestra, like a conductor of an orchestra. It was amazing. Never seen this much pop before. It's just, wow. Blew my freaking mind. Of course, this is the last match of the evening. And just, wow. So, this week, they reintroduced Batista back in the mix, the whole 9 yards. But the problem is, just like I said before, it was like, it came in like flat soda pop. Something that was built up for weeks and weeks and weeks, completely flat. And the thing is that when Batista left the WWE, he basically told the fans to go screw themselves. And he just walked, and that was it. That's how they closed the curtain, Batista. So when he's come back saying, I'm coming back for the W Heavyweight Championship belt, it was like, that's all you have to say. And the crowd was just completely flat. It's like, all right.
Oh, of course. Like, I'm sorry, you diss the fans. The fans aren't going to exactly want you to come back.
The problem is that he looks like The Rock now. Doesn't have the goatee, doesn't have the hair. It's all shaven off. He's got the mirror sunglasses, exactly what The Rock had several weeks ago, and it just looked like a reincarnation. The thing is that, folks, I got to tell you, he's going to do the exact same what The Rock thing is. He's there to push the actual movies working for Marvel, just basically physically being there. So he'll be there for a couple of months type of thing, and he'll be off. I don't think he was on his permanent roster. He's basically being billed as a guest, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, not too impressed with that. So that's how WWE was. So basically 2 great shows last 2 weeks. This week, kind of flat. It'd be interesting what they do for their 4th week show. So stay tuned. They're trying to build stuff up. It really comes down to it's Randy Orton versus John Cena, which is just completely puking over that because we had that like almost 12 times now. And it used to be back in the day, you only had like 4 different matches and that feud ended and they moved on to something else, but I don't know, they're just being really silly at WWE. And the last part that I have for TV stuff is that there is a viral video content maker known as Angry Joe. And the thing Angry Joe belongs to a group of individuals called Channel Awesome. And here's what's going on. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about YouTube really slashing and cutting back on video content providers who
very much so
video games and stuff like that. Well, Angry Joe's whole bag is dealing and basically critiquing video games. How odd. And at the same time here, he provides an actual full-blown production. So he uses clips here and there, something you would see in actual TVs and stuff like that. But however, he's running with he's running with the actual auspices of what the copyright laws have in place, stuff like that. Very, very important to him running with. But however, he got hit with, I believe it was over 20 DMCAs over content lasting, ready for this, 17 seconds for both music and also video clips. And the thing is that he's been fighting this for the last week, just for our conversation here.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he's slashing these things left, right, and center. And it seems to be a lot of North American publishers understand where he's coming from and have dropped the DMCAs. But however, there seems to be 4 or 5 DMCAs still left, and these game publishers all the way from Japan. So the thing is that since he's part of Channel Awesome and he's got some money, he's got himself a lawyer, and he's prepared to fight for his actual content. And because of that, he's going to be launching a countersuit for actually taking time away from his actual videos. Because what they're claiming is they're claiming all of the video content as their own. Not the clips, but the whole thing. So basically, they're supposed to have copyrights, everything else like that. And the whole thing is extremely silly. And I am not impressed with the larger companies beating up on the little guys, especially when it comes to critiques. And the funny thing is that these video game companies seem to be hitting Angry Joe because he didn't like their games. But however, after talking to them one-on-one, it seems to be a lot of the errors being cleared, and at the same time, they understand they're actually breaking copyright and stuff like that. So some good stuff from all of that. Again, we'll post the link on our social networking sites and let people find out what's going on.
Yeah,
if you're actually doing video game stuff on YouTube, be very careful because they seem to be really hitting hard with that these days. And it's just crazy what they're doing, man. And the thing is that I don't know where YouTube and the rest of those guys get off, because the thing is, at the same time, there are other companies that don't have copyright permission to use X, Y, and Z, but the thing is that these larger channels seem to be using this out for impunity. It seems that the smaller guys always constantly get crushed down. So I don't get it. I really don't understand. But however, I guess it is what it is. But however, here at the Weekly Trending Fandom Show, we're hoping that Angry Joe will overcome these obstacles and still produce his content. But again, kids, the biggest thing I'm going to highly recommend is that if you're on YouTube and YouTube only, find other viral video channels out there, make your own links, so basically don't separate yourself from your audience, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, with that being said, we are 3 minutes into the farm report, maybe not coming in after us. Not too surprising because, again, Jeff, great guy here at CKMS, is probably attending his field with his minus 30 weather we're having today or something like that. So
something of the deal. With that YouTubing stuff, a favorite YouTuber of mine, Total Biscuit.
Okay.
He's worked several times with Angry Joe. He has made several videos on this exact topic.
Yeah.
And has clearly stated that from now on he's not going to be reviewing the AAA titles.
Yeah.
He's only going to be doing indie developers because indie developers want these things to be reviewed. They want this done.
Well, so they can actually the exposure.
They can get the exposure.
And the same thing here, the reason why we talk about more mainstream stuff is because we're still building up the show. Yeah. And the thing is that the mainstream stuff, they have scientifically designed things to be very exciting, very interesting. But here at the Weekly Trending Fandom Show, we're also looking for independent content as well, because we always say support your local independent retailers, because heaven forbid the large shoebox stores do not need your money at all. So I am completely on board with that. Plus on top of that, maybe we could talk to Angry Joe, get him on the show, maybe talk about what's going on and stuff like that, because I think this is a very interesting, I don't want to call it a news item, but a very interesting item to say, and I think it should be interesting in how this all wraps up at the end for them, because the thing is that our second PA, which is WTF PA 2014-2, is really into video gaming reviews and stuff like that, and he's using a lot of video game content. The last thing what's going to happen is losing his channel, his content, and his actual subscribers, which is, like maybe 20 or 14 people. But the thing is, the Weekly Trending Fandom Show, this is all our own pure content, our all pure graphics, and else like that. So he's like, screw you. And at the same time, we also have legal representation here at the station. So the thing is, anyone wants to screw with us, hey, careful. And we need your money. So, with that being said, anything more, and you're in there 2.0?
No, that sounds about it.
All right. So that being said, we are completely flush out of stuff. Hopefully our PAs will hear our actual broadcast day and basically be here for 11:30 to help me set up the actual equipment. And hopefully next week we'll have some more camera equipment to play with, because it's very exciting what we're doing here in 2014. And so far we're kicking things off quite well, and I'm very happy how things are. At the same time here, I'd like to thank the people on our weekly training fandom show on Facebook. And the thing is that hopefully they'll get engaged with our discussion. Be a little civil, be a little open-minded, invite some more of their actual friends into our pages and stuff like that. Plus, on top of that, you can also follow us on Twitter, which is WTFshow.com/Twitter. And again, with the Facebook stuff, again, you can basically type in www.WTFshow.com/Facebook. Well, that being said, this is us, this is you. Thank you very much for once again for joining us for another fantastic show. We will hopefully be on the air in exactly 160 hours from now, which is basically a week from now. And on top of that, always keep an eye on our actual Facebook page, keep an eye on our actual websites, keep an eye on our Twitter of all the crazy shenanigans that come in between everything else. So that being said, thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you hopefully in 1 week. Until then, see you! Bye!